have the Garlic Box World Headquarters in Hensel, Ontario, 45 miles north of London and 20 minutes from Grand Bend. The Garlic Box, we're creators of value-added food products made with locally grown garlic. We found that when we started growing garlic in 1997 that no one was buying Ontario garlic. So to get traction in the marketplace, we had to add value to it. And the consumer embraced added value products during those years, more so than they did the raw garlic ingredient itself.
When you're harvesting garlic, sometimes you'll miss some bulbs that'll drop in the field. And my wife Jackie always wondered why we didn't go back and pick them up, but it was a busy time, and so she started picking up some of the bulbs that were left in the field and decided that maybe she'd start making some product of it. So that spun off the Garlic Box.
And that allowed us to have a field to fork story, which has been our mission statement since 1998, is to bring locally grown garlic to the kitchen table. Even though in those days the mission of local had no merit behind it and it sort of had no air under its wings, it was our mission statement, and we've stuck with it. And now, with the local movement being in full force, we are getting some traction with that. And that is still doing what we do, is we use that business model.
We struggled when we started because there was a lot of Asian garlic that was being dumped into Canada and at a very low price. We worked on trying to solve that problem, but it ended up, it didn't work. We tried to put tariffs on garlic coming into the country. But basically, we continued working with the garlic industry and developing our garlic, moving in the marketplace. Once the consumer understood that the flavor difference and the value of our garlic, it took off. And of course, the new big kick for growing any type of crop in southwestern Ontario anymore is the fact that people want to buy local. And that's the big turning point in growing garlic today, is people want to know where it came from. They want to buy it, that it's not a great distance away from where they are, so they feel more confident with what they're buying. We started about 18 years ago, just growing just a few acres of garlic. And from there we expanded our crop. Garlic is a crop that you plant in the fall and then harvest in July. And we take that garlic and create seed out of it. So for the first few years we were basically expanding our acreage and as well as selling some of the garlic. How it all starts is we take the bulbs of garlic and we put them through a cracking machine which cracks the bulbs into cloves. And it's the actual clove of the garlic that we plant. Most bulbs of garlic will produce 5 to 6 cloves to bulb. So then we take those bulbs and we take them out into the field and we put them into our planter. And the way the planter works, it goes along and it has a shoe that opens the ground up, and then the cloves of garlic are picked up by cups. And as the cups come up over the top, they dump the garlic over into the shoe in the ground, and then colders come along and pile the dirt on top of it. So then it stays there for the winter, and then it's harvested the next year. It will go in the ground and it will root out at this time of year in the fall, and it'll start forming some roots, and then and a shoot will start coming out through the top of the clove. In some years, if it stays mild, it might start to peer out of the ground before winter, but most years it doesn't. And then in the spring it gets an early start. It always confuses people when they drive down the road and they can see rows of something growing and it kind of looks like corn, and they go like, boy, that can't be corn, and they always slow down and then they realize it's garlic.
We were laying the seeds for a new industry, which we've done. And Ontario garlic is unique in that it's a root-to-leaf vegetable, so we utilize the whole crop. So that reduces food waste. Local garlic reduces the footprint, your environmental footprint, and it also, of course, contributes to your local economy. Ontario's agri-sector alone puts in the billions of dollars through that. So it's nice to know that we're part of that driving economy, and we've got great support in our community for what we're doing. And we also incorporate local peaches. We incorporate local maple syrup. The honey farmer just down the road is in our honey pickles. local certified organic apple cider. So we work very closely with fellow agripreneurs that are in the industry like us. You know, and it's certainly a niche industry, but it's one that's getting some recognition, and I think it's one that's highly esteemed. For people that want to make informed decisions about their consumption, the Garlic Box gives them that choice.
You know, garlic's a cold climate garlic, different than working with a garlic that comes out of Asia or even California, which is a warm climate garlic, which is called softneck, so it doesn't grow a scape. So it's planted in the spring and then harvested in the same year. And their garlic is a multi-clove base, so it can have anywhere from 12 to 16 small cloves into it. So growing the type of garlic we grow, which is a hardneck garlic, grows a very large clove, so it's nice for roasting, has a better flavor to it for the fact that of the size of cloves in as well as the ground that it's grown in. You know, we find in Ontario our garlic has when roasted, has a sweeter flavor to it. So.
Because we're field to fork and Ontario garlic is a relatively new economy crop in Ontario, we are involved in every step of the process. So not only do we have to get it out of the ground, we have to get it dried, cracked, peeled, stabilized, and processed. So that's done off-site at Northland Garlic, and then we preserve it. And here at the Garlic Box is we pack. We do small batches. You know, and we follow all regulations. We're an inspected facility. We've got full traceability protocol. We run a very efficient processing facility here, and we do co-packing as well and private labeling for other customers that are looking for this type of food quality that they want on their shelves. We take great care. We've got 42 different SKUs of product. Garlic is so schizophrenic. It ranges from the sweet to the savory, to the frozen to the dried, the pickled, you know. It's difficult to stop. We've got so many ideas on the burner that are going to be coming down the pipe yet. It's such an exciting crop to work with, garlic, but we do listen to what the consumer wants so that we can make sure we're on trend with garlic to meet consumer demand, because there's no point in manufacturing something if the consumer's certainly not interested in buying it. But yeah, we pay close attention to that. And what's exciting for us too is that we're opening up a new market, which is the industrial food sector. So when you look at that, that's restaurants, but then you take it another layer and that's food service providers. So other food manufacturers that are making preserves and jam are looking at Ontario garlic as part of their ingredients, because they also want to have a nice clean ingredient deck. But we have to work very closely with all growers to grow Ontario's garlic industry, and the Garlic Box is on the forefront of that, but it only works because of all the back-end work that's growing, networking, and a synergy that's taking place at the farm gate level. The Garlic Box has been branding cold climate garlic, well, since 1997. Because Ontario garlic, of course, is planted in the winter and harvested the following summer. So because it winters under snow, it differentiates us right out of the gate, and what we do and how we process and how we handle our garlic. So that changes us and adds a different story as opposed to an offshore garlic. So that changes the flavor of the food that we're doing. So the fact that we are now breaking into a country like Taiwan, who understands garlic. You know, we've been branding Ontario garlic as cold climate. We've been working with, it's called Branding Canada. So we were juried by the government that we were able to sport a particular maple leaf on our products that identify it as a Canadian-made product. And that's getting recognition. You know, and we've always held to that we're clear about what we do. The interesting thing about our business model is that because we are transitioning field to fork, we are in control of food safety, quality through every process. Like we're stakeholders in every step, from the seed to the seal, right to the end. So that ensures quality, freshness, and everything that the consumer is looking for. And it's only through innovation that the Garlic Box has been able to pathfind solutions into the marketplace that will give the industry traction. So an example of that is our innovative use of the Garlic Scape, which we've just transformed into a green salt, which you can use every day on just about anything you're cooking. So it's like a functional food. You can not only get great flavor, but you're getting nourishment as well through the Garlic Scape. And then our innovative product, the IQF frozen garlic cloves, which are individually quick frozen peeled Ontario garlic cloves, which just won the Premier's Agri-Innovation Award for contributing to Ontario's agri-sector. And that was a consumer-driven solution to the question that they're asking, how do I get Ontario garlic year-round? And our answer was to flash freeze it. So we preserved the nutritional profile, the integrity of the clove, and allowed the consumers to take Ontario garlic year-round. We just now have to direct them to be looking in their freezer section, which is unusual for local garlic in the winter time. If we would have known when we started this industry as seriously just humble farmers, like digging in the dirt, we never would have expected this. We've shipped to Switzerland, Germany, Scotland, UK, US, and our first skid load just left for Taiwan. And that is great for Ontario's garlic industry. It's a respected industry, and it gives good reason for farmers to invest in that crop if they're looking for something different other than, corn or soybeans. I think the Ontario garlic industry has got great value in it. So, no, we never knew when we were planting our first acre of garlic in 1997 that we would be shipping a skid load to Taiwan in 2015 or So to go to Taiwan and get some recognition for the farming practices that are taking place in Canada, I think is a real salute to Canadian farmers and the stewardship that we've got of our land. And I think that as long as we manage that well, we'll have opportunities in countries like Taiwan. Well, I would just say eat garlic. Any way you can get it. And I just got to say that's always a question. Shouldn't I just be eating it raw, or isn't that healthier? But without going into a big garlic 101 story, actually it is one of the ways, but eat it any way you can because there's nutrition and value no matter what's happened to garlic. It's got 50 different compounds, so every time you transform it, a different compound surfaces up. That's good for you. So eat it any way you can get it. Yeah.